their path. Last session, we encountered brownies, a stone god, and a man called Fisk. I'm your Dungeon Master, Paris. Let's play. I promise I'll get a better version of the intro. Boo. Oh, well, it's fine. Don't worry about it. It's okay. I won't be repeating it.
Again, Paris, again.
I will next game. If you're just tuning in, please, or if you're watching us on Twitch, please tune in at roughly 7:30. We'll try and start at 7:30 every Sunday, but I mean, Lee's always late and Ad's always late. Sorry, Dave's always late. Ad's never late. Ad's always on time. In fact, Ad's always early, which is
premature.
Exactly. So to summarize last time then, so you all arrived at Thrin, the place where all where the chieftains and the hearses are all holding this vote to decide who's going to be the next big man in charge, the next Jarl or king, if you will. Everyone started to arrive. You guys are a little early to the event, and Sved's done that for a reason. Sved has asked you to retrieve his family's axe that he lost at the last Great Moot. He had a bet with another chieftain where drunkenly he tried to throw his axe across the length of the gorge. Obviously, it's a gorge, and what happened is he threw it and it plummeted straight to the bottom, where it was found by the brownies and given to their god, the rock god, the god of the earth. You guys were requested to find it. You have done some dealings with a trader, scaled down a cliff, and you've ended up on this little island and given lots and lots of food to these little brownies. Whilst you were trying to retrieve the axe, which you did by trading in another magic item that you've got, a gentleman with a tri-corner hat, who you can assume is probably part of these bad guys wearing tri-corner hats, he was spotting you, and you basically fired some arrows at him, and he attacked you. Mortally wounded quite a few of you, so you're all very low on health at the moment, and you have just defeated him. Can I get some perceptions, please, from all of you?
Absolutely.
Oh, nice. Good start.
What did you get? I got a 2.
27.
Nice.
Oh, plus my perception, actually.
I mean, it's not going to get much better than 2, is it, Dave?
No.
7.
Nice.
No, it's not. That's really bad.
It's better than Dave's.
I got 7 in total.
Oh, well.
So basically, I see nothing. Oh, hey, Lee. Nice.
So while you are rifling through this guy's pockets, and I'll tell you what you found, Ad, you hear barking in the distance. And by I say distance, you think you can hear an awful lot of barking, and it's getting near very quickly.
Oh, is this that slave trader's dogs?
Oh, I'm going to kill this dude.
Bugger. Obviously, I alert Angelos and Charles that there's some barking and some dogs coming up on us very rapidly.
Yeah.
Any plans?
See you guys.
Well, last round you started picking through. I think Dave started picking through this guy's corpse. Do you want to tell me what? Do you want me to tell you what's currently in your sort of hands as you're looking?
That'd be great.
So,
yes, please.
As you're picking through this guy's body, Dave, he's wearing black leather armor with a black tri-corner leather hat. He's got some food in his pockets, 2 days worth of trail rations. He's got a plain dagger on him. He's got a rope made of silk, and he's got a trident as well. And it's a pretty nice trident. It's probably one of the fancier weapons you've seen. He's also got a little pouch, and he's got one pouch containing small white round things and a black round thing, maybe a gem, maybe a stone. You're not entirely sure what it is. And he's got some various gold, silver, and copper. But as you're going through this, Ulf tells you that he can hear barking, and it's getting close quickly.
Be like, okay. Cool. I'm going through this. Rifling.
Can you turn your mic up a bit,
oh,
Dave? I'm having trouble hearing you, dude.
Just face your mouth at it.
Hello.
If you can put the microphone between your nose and your chin, that'll be great.
There's me polite.
Is that any better?
That's
that
better, a lot better. Yeah.
Much better, mate.
I mean, not when you're looking under the table at the same time.
What is underneath that table?
I don't want to know.
It's a womanly. Have you seen the scene in Police Academy?
Did you buy a magnifying glass at the weekend? Just
No, but I'll tell you what did happen at the weekend is me and Paris traded beards by the looks of it.
Oh, yeah, seems to be the case. I want it back, Dave.
No, it's keeping my face warm.
Right, so just as the loot's clutched in your hand, you hear dogs barking.
Okay. Well, can I can we very quickly pocket the pouch with small white things and one black thing, was it?
Yep.
And is it one black stone, did you say, or?
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
you're
stone
not
ish.
sure what it is.
You're not entirely sure what the material is, but you know.
Oh, I know what it is. Okay. I think I have an idea what it is. I think Giles might know what it is.
I actually can't remember. Maybe my brain will kick in a minute.
Is there a nice tree nearby that looks very climbable?
Yeah, I mean, this is a very forested area. There's a lot of climbable trees.
I'd like to try and climb one of the trees if I can.
Okay. Please do. Can you roll me a d20 plus your climb skill?
Oh no.
Oh! I know what I can
20.
do.
Yep, nice. You shoot up the tree.
Nice. And I will have a look out, see if I can actually eyeball these dogs.
Yeah, can you roll me? Well, we'll use your perception from last time. Yes, they are close. They are probably about 30 seconds away, maybe, and there are a shitload of dogs.
Oh god, I can't control that many dogs.
From what you can see, there's a lot of dogs. As in, like, you could probably spot 4, and then you see other dogs running around as well, and then you see the top of a tri-corner hat.
Can I try and climb a tree?
Can I? Oh god, no.
Can I give him a hand up? Would that give him any advantage or anything?
Yeah, of course. So you can assist someone in whatever they're doing. It gives them a +2 to their roll.
Okay. Yeah,
above their normal one. So yeah, go for
Can I
it.
give him? Can I do the same? We'll give him a boost up. If Ulf is picking him up, can I boost him up? Would that add up? Or is that too much?
I'd allow it. I'd allow it this time.
Failing that, I'll just watch him struggle.
What I'll say is, when you give someone, I'd say for every extra person, it halves the extra bonus onto it. I'm not sure if that's the actual rules, but Ad will give you +2. Dave will give you the +1, so you'll get a +3 extra on top of your climb skill and your d20 rolling.
So +3 -1, so that's 2.
Yeah.
And 20. Okay, cool. Let me just bring my dice up.
Oh, is it? It'll have to be the same tree if it's the one that adds up. But yeah,
I don't care what tree it is as long as it's off the ground. All right. Please be good. Please be with me, dice. Come on. Oh my god. 8
+2, 10. It's a relatively easy tree to get up. You don't get as high as Ad. I think you just get in the first couple of branches, which are probably about 6 foot above the floor.
As long as they're out of
That's
teeth
fine.
snapping.
Yes, exactly.
Dogs are really getting close now. Really close. Probably about sort of 10 seconds away. You've just used a round.
Angela,
Dave, what are you doing?
I'm thinking now. I mean, if we're all up the tree, we're going to get surrounded and screwed over, aren't we?
yeah,
Potentially.
but I've got a bow and arrow. I'm happy up in the tree.
Yeah. I'm thinking about retreating back over into the over here, and seeing what might be able to spread the attack force over, and that means if they're over by me, you could shoot at them or
Dave,
something.
can I just get you to turn your gain down ever so slightly? It's just you sound like you're going into the red quite badly.
Any better?
Oh, that's loads better.
Dave, you still have, for at least the next sort of 20 seconds, basically when you arrive, there'll be another round where you'll be able to have this imp.
Still got me imp. Yeah.
Still got your imp. For 20 more seconds, you still have your imp.
Oh, wicked. So the dog's going to be here in 10 seconds.
Basically a round, yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Sorry,
cool.
6 seconds. So 6 seconds is a round, 12 seconds. Actually, they'll get here in 3 rounds.
So I don't have an imp anymore. When the
No,
dog's
you
in.
will have your imp. You will have
Oh,
your
right.
imp.
Okay. Okay.
At least
cool.
for 1 round, you'll have your imp for.
Okay, so for the next, let me guess right. For the next 3 rounds, we're all going to be sitting up a tree.
For the next 2 rounds, you'll be For the next 3 rounds, you'll be
me
sitting
and
up a
Giles
tree.
would have enough common sense to stay as quiet as possible up in this tree.
Yeah, roll me stealths.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that's not bad for me. He says, if you 19.
I'll check what my stealth is. Do I even have stealth? -1. Oh god.
Is that what yours is? Jeez.
Yeah, it's -1. Let's go with it.
There's
Hey.
there's Lee trying to keep quiet, but he's shaking a branch above him.
Shaking all the leaves off.
Yeah. I'm trying to be quiet, guys.
Oh no, we're here.
Yeah, loud whispering.
You're just particularly clunky in your religious outfit, aren't you?
Well, you know, it's because I'm trying to reach up towards Ubik's foot, see if I can get a bit of blood.
Drag it down.
Dragging down.
Mm.
Try being stealthy now.
So there's me like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Predator against the thing with all the mud. Just disappeared. Lee leant up against me like...
Oh, okay.
I'll start playing a triangle in a minute.
Ding. Dave, what are you doing?
I'm trying to think of whether I go up the tree as well, or do I kind of go back a bit towards the rock and kind of perch up around by the rock?
You never know. The brownies might look kindly on you.
That's what I'm pondering. That's what I'm thinking. They might help out a bit if we go back.
You did steal their axe, like, but, you know.
No, I traded for it.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
They did heal you last time, didn't they, Ed?
Yeah. That was very kind. I needed that.
Yeah.
Could do with another one as well.
Well, they can't help you up a tree, can they?
I mean, admittedly, my health is at 1 currently, so I'm I'm halfway. So yeah, tell you what, I'm going to retreat onto this island, I think, and then because if it is the guy who's the slaver, I want a 1-on-1 with him. I want to take him out for killing that girl, Selena.
2 rounds.
Sorry.
2 rounds left.
Oh, until they appear.
Am I going to let it lapse?
Oh wait, no.
Anything you want to do?
Yeah, there is. I'm not sure about waiting until one more round to do it.
I would like to use.
Oh.
Hang on a minute. I need to know how many potions I've got left. It's been 2 weeks, so let's have a quick look.
Can I hold Can I set to an arrow at the point the dogs reach us? So can I fire a whistling arrow away from us somewhere?
Yeah, of course you can.
So I'd like to do that if I can.
Yeah, cool. Where are you firing? Just kind of in the sky away?
No, just into like some trees off to the right of us or something, just a bit further away.
Yeah, cool. You do that. Give me a perception.
So the notes I've left for self here, you'll like this. Cure light
18.
wounds used for add on episode 10. 2 left to use. Trial rations 5. And then just below that, kill count 4 innocent people.
I like that.
Excellent.
You notice that you hear someone whistle and 2 of the dogs head that way. The rest of them still come towards you. Yeah.
Do we know how many, or do we just know there's a lot?
I'd saw at least 4, but now with the 2 that's gone that way, there are more. There are more, certainly, than 4.
I don't know if this is just your mate on his own, Dave. To be honest.
No, I'm doing that now myself. I think because apparently, I mean, my notes might be slightly wrong. I don't know. You have to correct me if I'm wrong, Paris, but I think I'll have 2 bear traps in my possession.
Right, bear traps are stupidly fucking heavy. So unless you've dragged them all this way, they'll still be on the ground in the
we used
outside
them at the cave mouth, didn't we?
Yeah. They are reusable, but you didn't mention that you'd pick them up or put them on the cart or anything. So it's like I carry this armoire with me. It's fucking heavy.
No, I'll mark it down as because I'll leave him with the troll. We'll leave him with the troll.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I didn't say anything.
That's fine.
Up, so. There goes that plan.
Okay. Another round's elapsed.
Okay. Can I would like to use one of my cure light wounds on myself.
Okay. Cool. 1d8 plus 2, please, Lee.
7.
That's yourself healing yourself by 7. Nice one.
Is my imp still bleeding into me to heal me?
He did, yeah.
Cool. Can I ask him to do that again?
Yeah, he's going to be very helpful. Yeah, he cuts his hand. He slits all up his hand right to the elbow, and he gives you a big kiss on the cheek that makes you feel really nauseous, and he crams his hand in your mouth. And so you've been healing by 1 every round since you've got up for 10 rounds.
Okay.
So you should have healed by 10.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm actually on 11 health then.
Yeah. So he's done it again. So every round, just mark that you heal yourself by 1.
Okay, so we've already done 10 rounds. So I'm back up to 11.
Yeah. You spent a couple of rounds messing around Fisk and stuff, and looking out for the dogs and trying to find loot and stuff like that. But so far, all you've taken off Fisk's body is just that 1 sack with the 1 bag with the stones in. You've not taken anything else off him, have you?
Can I?
Really?
I've got this bag of caltrops.
Yeah.
Can I shower them down on the floor around below where we are?
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah, quite easily. Yeah, so you do that.
Chuck those down in the hope that some of the dogs yelp away and.
Yeah, nice. Right. So as this round ends, I don't know if there's anything you want. You said you wanted to do something last minute, Dave. I don't know if you want to do that this round.
I mean, I don't think I've got the time ever to nip over, grab a trident, and come back, or nothing like that, or a silk rope even.
Yeah, I think you'll be over there by that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Right. This guy's next to you, bleeding in your mouth. I'll switch to the next screen. I'll just port you guys over. Give me a second. I'll put that in for 1 round. Right, your positioning is going to be slightly out because I've had to use a different map.
Okay, I can adjust that when you pull the map in.
The map's the same size.
Oh,
don't worry, Lee. I've made sure that happened. But Fisk's body is going to be in a slightly different location. I've had to pile the dogs in a bit more.
Ooh.
That's a nice noise, wasn't it?
Black.
I'm just revealing it. So there we go. So all these dogs come cramming in. And you notice that there's 6 dogs and there's one guy who sort of immediately takes off his hat because he's like pouring with sweat, and he's like, "Fisk, what happened?" And immediately 2 dogs are trying to get up your tree, tread in the caltrops and back off. But they're sort of there, like growling at the bottom, like, "Arr, arr," and the others are sort of fanning out.
Okay, so they totally know that we're here then.
Yeah. He turns and looks up at you guys, and he sees Lee on the lower branches, and he's like, "You, what did you do?"
Lie, Lee, lie. Just...
I'm just trying to get a help bird out of a tree. Don't know what you're on about. You got it yet?
Covered, and you're covered in blood in that tree while Fisk is lying here. And he goes and he puts his hand on and he goes, "Oh my God, he's dead."
Yeah, we came across him and we saw that he was dead, and then we thought whatever it was might have been those dogs that were come running up, so we legged it up the tree, thinking that you might have been the killer.
Yeah. I slipped on him in a panic.
Do you want to give me a diplomacy check?
Oh, mine's terrible.
Yes.
Worst character to try and lie.
-2 I have. 14.
Yeah, I mean, it's the least believable lie ever. So you definitely get some penalties on that. Yeah, he has no doubt you've killed Fisk. I mean, the fact that there's blood all over you. He looks across the way and he looks at Dave and he sees the axe shining in his hand, and he says, "That's the axe. Hand it over here, and I may spare you."
Just launch at his head, Dave. Launch that axe right at his head.
I just go up and get it. I'll leave my friends alone.
He whistles to the dogs, and they begin to move into the water. And curiously, they kind of get here, but they stay at this side of the river. They don't venture into the water. They whine and whinge, and you see this rock slowly sort of start to shift and then go still. And the dogs they're not going to go into the water. They're not going to enter the island. It's not going to happen.
Oh,
and
we
you
went to
hear
the wrong place, Lee, didn't we?
and you hear the brownies go, "Na na 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 na." And he turns to you both and he says, "Well, I'll rip your friend's skin from their flesh."
Shit.
And he whistles again, and they begin to surround the tree. Oh,
goddamn tree!
Don't know why I made that dog really fat. Didn't mean to do that. Now these are big dogs, by the way. These are sort of mastiff-sized dogs. They're huge. They're jowly. They've got blood on them already. They're hunting dogs.
I don't suppose you got anything acidy or anything on you, have you, Jarls?
I'm just having a quick look, actually. Funny you should say that.
Looking through my life, I got nothing.
I mean, bleeding touches. There's so many of them. That's the problem. Have we got any potions or anything that we could launch at them?
I could throw a bag of assorted trinkets at them.
I mean, I could try and command one of them to attack another.
Have you got any level 1 spells left? I didn't think you had.
I've got one left according to my sheet.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
I just used Cure Light Wounds, leaving me that last one. Let me just double check that. Spells level 1, one left. What is this? A level 1 spell? Level 1.
Command Undead is
per day, 3+1. Yeah, I have. This will be the only one I have left for the day. So if it's early in the morning, we're screwed.
Can command it to attack his
What
what's
the-
his face?
Attack isn't one of the things. You can get them to move,
Oh,
run, fall over, but attack isn't one of the things.
Well, that's useless. No point in using that. Could get it to attack another dog, that'd be fine. I really don't think I've got anything that's going to be any use. I am checking. There's nothing dead round here, is there, that I can bring back to life?
No, afraid not. You don't have anything to raise undead. Not yet, anyway. At this level, Lee, you can control any undead that's around, but you can't create any yet. The other thing you have, Lee, is channel negative energy. So that does damage in a 30-foot radius around you. But the issue is it's going to hurt Ad.
No,
Ad, what's your health on?
9.
These dogs are big, aren't they? I think, you know what, Ad? I think we should just stay up this tree for the time being and let Dave figure out how he's going to save us.
Like, they can't climb the trees, can they? So
No, don't know what that bloke can do. I'm just hoping Dave's got a decent axe to look at.
Can I just take a shot at one of the dogs?
Yeah, of course you can.
Oh no, you're gonna ask me what everything is, aren't you?
So it's D20 plus your attack bonus, Ad, for your bow.
To hit, yeah.
Yeah, please.
So that's plus 5. So that's 16.
Yep, 16's a hit on a dog.
Nice. 1d8 is that my damage? Do I get any? I don't get a bonus on that, do I?
Yeah, it's just 1d8.
Just 1d8. 3.
Yeah, you succeed in pissing off one of the dogs. So it goes into its shoulder.
Just pissing off, is that?
It goes into its massive muscle. But you know, these dogs are burly. In response, I mean, Lee's 6 foot up, and these dogs are probably in length about that. It tries to jump up and nip Lee.
I'm just going to try and kick it back down.
So 5 plus 3. No, it doesn't hit you, Lee.
Thank God for that.
So it sort of bites at your feet and you like jerk away from it. But these things are, you know. Oh, give me a second. Let's just have a look at the effects of your caltrops. See if does any damage to it.
Because I assume if they're jumping up, they're going to keep landing on them, aren't they?
Yeah. Okay, it runs the risk of stepping on one, so it's moved in, so it might take some damage.
Come on, please.
Yeah, that's a hit. You hear it whimper, and it does take some damage.
Nice.
And you notice it limping. So the damage it does is negligible, but it's got a caltrop stuck in, and you notice it's now limping around.
Dang it.
The others are still surrounding the tree, like snarling at you, ready to be, you know, to dive in at the command of this guy. And the dog breeder says, I can order them to rip you to shreds. At just word of my command, if I whistle, they'll all attack you, and you'll be in pieces. A bloody pulp. And he takes the bow out of his bag. I can turn your friend in that tree into a pincushion.
Oh my God.
Please throw an axe at him, Dave. You've got loads.
He says, I want the axe. The shiny one.
He wants
the
it.
white one.
There.
Well,
Dave,
okay.
Dave, could you just wedge it back in the rock? Because surely he's going to have to give someone for it.
Oh, actually, I've just thought if we do that, if I wedge the thing back in the rock, then we can always trade it back with the trident, possibly, because it's meant to be quite a nice trident, isn't it?
It's quite a nice trident. Yeah, you're not entirely sure if it's magical, but it's a very nice trident.
See, I promise we could end up back where we started.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll end up without your really good fighting axe.
No, I want to keep my fighting axe. Sorry, Lee. I'm gonna have to fire an arrow at him, I think.
By the way, your imp disappears because you've done
Oh,
over
no.
a round.
Out of the way. No farewell or nothing, just gone. Okay.
He's sort of humping your leg as he goes.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
That is that kind of imp.
I'm gonna miss him. I'm gonna have to try and shoot. Have I got a shot here? I think I do, don't I? Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
35
nothing
foot.
obscuring me.
No, dog's quite low to the ground, even though it's very long.
Cool. I'm gonna have to go for a bleeding arrow on him.
Okay.
See if we can distract him that way and get rid of him from shooting you guys. So, what do you want from me, DM?
D20, please. Plus your attack bonus for your bow.
Mom, be good. 18. Okay.
As he sees you draw your bow, he shouts, "Sick him," and whistles. And you notice them already, their attacks to attack Lee simultaneously.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So sorry, what was that attack?
I rolled 18.
You rolled 18.
Unbelievable.
Plus my
Plus-
attack is for my short bow is plus 4, I think, isn't it, to hit? Plus 4 to hit, minus.
Yes.
Oh, right.
plus 4
Yeah,
to
plus
hit.
4, yeah. 22. Yeah, I think that's
Yep, that's fine. So that is, what's your damage?
22.
It
Oh, wait, no,
is
oh,
what? D6 for your short bow. Yep. So roll D6 for me, please. And then it's plus
Come
1
on, be good.
bleeding damage.
No, oh, okay, cool. Come on. That is 3 plus 1, so it's 4.
Yep. So he takes 4 damage. I'll just make a note of that.
It's going to not make a dent, isn't it?
I want to know how my feet are.
Nubs. Gnawed away.
I think you might want to try climbing. Get on my shoulders.
Right, I'm just going to
I've
roll
never
some
done
initiative now.
Can I try
Just
climb
do.
higher? But then if I get a low score, will I slip down?
I was going to say you.
Yes, you would. Can everyone roll for initiative, please, for the next round for the dogs to attack Lee?
Have 2 weeks off. Welcome back, Lee. Take some pain.
11 for me.
It's my initiative.
15 plus 7, which is my...
I'm going to double up the dogs' initiative so I don't have to roll loads of times.
Oh, goody. Initiative modifier. -1.
Your character's so bad at these
Oh, I
things,
know.
man.
Alright, come on, give
Sorry,
me
what was your
something.
initiative, Dave?
22.
22.
You're just not very outdoorsy, are you, Lee?
No. I just like to, sit in graveyards and
Read poetry.
talk to the dead.
Poke dead people.
And that is that for you, Ad? No,
Sorry,
that was
11
your
was
initiative,
me.
wasn't it? 11.
Yeah.
Well, Dave, you go first before all these dogs attack.
Did I hit
so you've got one more go.
Okay. I'm gonna have another go at the. I'm gonna shoot again at the dude, I think.
Yep, cool. D20, please.
Okay. That is 17 this time round, which is nice. Plus my 21.
21 is a hit.
Cool. This is gonna be a 1 on my D6 now.
Yep. Is this a regular arrow?
Oh no, sorry, it's another bleeding one. I'm gonna go for another bleeding.
Cool.
It's my last bleeding one. So let's make them up. Note that's gonna be 0 now. I rolled 3 again, so 4 damage again.
Yep. So wings him in the other arm. Okay, dogs go now. And they're all pretty close to each other. So what's your AC, Lee?
My AC is... Who's got a washing machine? That's what I want to know. 9.
That's me, sorry.
That's fine. Our armor class is 9.
Okay, nice. So that's a fail. That dog hits a couple of caltrops.
Yes!
Again, his vision is it's what's called is slowed. That one's a hit. That one's potentially critical. No, it's just a hit. So that's what, 3 dogs out of the way. 4th dog hits. 5th dog hits. Oh. 6 dogs miss. That's 2 dogs missing. So that is 4 dogs having attack, doing all damage on you, Lee.
Okay. Do I have any feet left?
We'll find out if you're dropping out of this tree or not.
I will be channeling negative energy if I drop, just so you know, Ad.
Yeah, no worries.
How much health do you have, Lee?
Oh, fuck. Make me swear now. I believe it's 9. Let me just double check. 9.
Okay. You take 15 damage.
Oh, Jesus. I won't be channeling negative energy. Am I dead?
You are on, what, -4?
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
No, it's...
9, 15...
-6.
-6, yeah, you're on -6, and you drop out the tree and hit the floor. It's only 6 foot, so you don't take any damage, and the dogs immediately just surround you.
Well, guys, I think Dave needs to... I don't know what Dave's going to do.
He needs to rush him with that mighty axe.
He does, doesn't he? He needs to save my ass.
Add it's your go.
-6, wow.
Bloody
So
hell,
I've got no potions.
Jazz is dying.
Right. What to do? I suppose I'll just launch an arrow at guy's head.
Okay.
So
D20, please.
that's 13.
13 is a miss.
Oh, fuck.
He's well armored, this bloke is.
Shouldn't he be bleeding every round, or is that just a...
He will at the end of this round. So he has been bleeding. He only takes 1 point of bleed damage a round until he heals himself. Yeah, he'll take 2 after following this.
That's great. That's fine.
But if he does... sorry.
Do I get... is it just
Sorry.
the one action I get to fire? Do I get anything else, or is that it?
Let's have a look at your character. You have an ability, I don't know if you've read this part of your character sheet before, called Rapid Shot.
Okay.
So
right.
when making a full attack action with a ranged weapon, you can fire 1 additional shot this round. All of your attack rolls take a -2 penalty when using rapid shot. So you can have 2 pops for a decreased attack. Now, because we didn't minus the 2 off the first damage, I'm going to say you can't take your second one this round. But next time, if you declare it, we'll take the -2 off your first shot and then give you another pop at it, if that's all right.
And is that penalty just for that round? Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll be whenever you want to fire 2 in a round, you can. You just take -2 to both rolls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. See that now.
Yeah. This guy is a human, though, so you do get a slight bonus on him, remember. So just remember to add that on.
So I could also use, on the other hand, if I was just one shot, I could use that weapon focus, which would give me a +1.
Yeah, so your weapon focus is already added.
Oh, okay. That's already in there.
So your to hit would normally be +4, but it's +5 on your longbow because of that bonus. So it's already added in on your character sheet. But your racial hit isn't added on. So it would just be -1 for you to do your rapid shot on a human, if that makes sense, because of the 2 abilities that stack on top of each other.
Yeah.
So, Ad, you've had your go. It's this guy's go, the guy with the dogs. He's going to take out his bow and he's going to try and hit you in the triad. So he does... Where's my D20? Oh, here it is. D20 +4, that's 9. So he misses you in the tree.
Yay.
Oh, good.
Lee,
No.
can you roll me a D20, please, plus your constitution?
Out of interest, am I able to save myself with one of my spells in this state?
You're unconscious, I'm afraid.
I thought that might be the case.
You are fighting for your life.
I have not had to find this before. What am I looking for?
Sorry, it's your fortitude save, sorry. So D20 plus your fortitude.
Fortitude.
Which is underneath your...
Constitution. Oh, yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
So it's D20 plus...
You need to get higher than 16.
Oh, shit.
Yep.
Let's make sure. Okay, so...
Sorry, it's just Constitution. It's not your Fortitude save, so it's just +1. D20 +1, Lee. Sorry.
What? +1? Oh, for the base mod.
Because of your Constitution base mod. Yeah, sorry, it's not Fortitude for this. It's
right.
Constitution.
So that's worse because that means I'm down. Okay, guys, here we go. Oh God!
Come on.
It's bad.
Sorry, Lee. You take an extra point of damage as you bleed out on the floor.
Dave, I'm counting on you.
You're now -7.
All those times I've come and saved you too. Now's the time.
If you end up beyond -12, you're deadly.
Oh, nice.
-12.
-4.
That's right.
Yep.
You have 5 rounds to save me.
For everyone, it's minus your Constitution score, not your Constitution modifier. So, add for you to be dead, it would be... Let's have a look. It'd be 10. -10 for you to be dead. Exceed -10. For you, Dave, it would be to exceed -15.
Ooh.
So you all have different thresholds for death.
So we can leave Dave on the floor for quite some time.
Yeah,
You can, yeah.
A bloody mess.
But Dave, it's your turn.
And I swear, if you just wave at my character.
This guy keeps saying, I want the axe.
Can we just give him the axe and get it back?
No, I'd rather not, because if nothing else, if he just picks up that, thinks, oh, this is a good axe, and starts chopping.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm just worried about what we can do with Lee. Or Giles, even.
But I was just thinking, I think you should go attack him with the axe.
Do it. Rush him, Dave, rush him.
Or throw at least an arrow to the head.
Oh, but shoot it. I've hit him twice.
Oh.
No.
Bye, Dave.
I'm just going to say it now. Hiding in the tree was a real bad choice.
It was, yeah. As soon as those dogs stopped at the side there, like, damn it.
But yeah, no, it's like we weren't to know. Dogs normally, swim.
Yeah, that's true.
Must be the freaky magic from the brownies.
I do wish I'd climbed up a tree on the other side of the map, though.
Yeah, wish we'd taken the time to run over the
Yeah.
way.
Do you think Dave's coming back? Oh, here he
There
is.
we go.
Yeah.
Hi, Dave.
What an inopportune time to lose connection and what the hell?
I don't suppose Leggy's around for I don't know. He can't just join in and save us all, can he?
Afraid not. I think he'd struggle against 6 dogs as well.
He just storms on, picks a dog like Hulk, and just starts swinging it around.
Yeah.
Man, well, I've got 2 potions in my possession.
Mm.
I have a yellow one and I have a green one.
Mm.
We don't know what the green one does,
Mm.
but we do know what the yellow one does.
Kind of, yeah.
It's sort of something to do with either light or fire.
Mm.
So,
Drink the green one.
I'm kind of, thing is, I know that I'm scared of drinking the green one. It's gonna be like a health potion. It's just gonna be like meh. But I mean, the yellow one. I'm pondering if I drink it and I start glowing or set myself on fire somehow, and I can march over to you, and then I can hopefully the blinding light from me might scare the dogs away enough and make him that he can't shoot us with an arrow. Like, and I can get towards Giles and drag him over to the island.
What was the description of that yellow potion?
Say again, sorry.
It was just that it was definitely a magical potion, a strong magical potion. Either had the magic was either related to light or fire.
Right.
This is what the people who surveyed it said, but they said it was a very powerful potion.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking, I don't.
So you're either going to turn into the Human Torch or a big Christmas decoration. One of the two.
Yeah. Oh, man,
Get out of my head, Ad.
Oh.
You're right, it is one of those two.
You start jingling as you walk. Ching, ching.
I mean, I really hope it's the Human Torch, but I've got a horrible feeling that if I've got to cross the river, I'm going to pop myself out.
Only if you go up to your legs. Just that bit.
Go on, just do it.
All right. So, for my round, I shout over at that dude and say, "You want the axe? Come and get it," and I'll pop the yellow potion. Just turn it into a Christmas tree.
Okay. So you drink Lorvan's portable lighthouse.
Oh shit!
Oh.
So
You hear a god-awful noise emanating from you and booming out for at least 120 feet. A massive
Human foghorn.
coming from your every orifice and your every piece of exposed skin, the brightest light that you've all ever seen. Intermittently, there's just this.
If anything, he's going to be confused.
The man looks at you completely shocked. The dogs, however, do not like it or enjoy it. Whilst these are trained dogs, they do sort of veer away, at least for... So that bright light is pretty much blinding to everything in a 60-foot radius. So they just all kind of like meander around and back off. So they're currently just temporarily blinded.
Is he blinded as well?
What, Dave?
No, the
the guy.
the guy.
Yeah. They're all like stumbling around. To be fair, you're blinded as well. Like this is a 60-foot radius of just blinding light.
Damn it! I thought we might have some advantage then.
Do you want to know how long it lasts?
Oh no.
1 hour.
Oh,
Dave, you got to just run up to him now and smash him with that axe.
Dave, you've got to do something. You can at least track my body. You've got plenty of time. They can't see you.
And the best bit is, Dave, you've got another potion left.
I love these potions, Paris. They're great.
1 hour.
That's for a whole hour.
Well, you can definitely get us out of this situation.
1 hour. That's gonna last for like 3 days, 3 game days at least.
It's to turn someone into a portable lighthouse. That's the purpose of the potion.
I'm dying.
Rush him, Dave. He can't see you.
I'm gonna go. Oh my god! I'm gonna
You
go.
can see perfectly fine, Dave. By the way, you can see perfectly fine.
You can see all the boots.
Mm.
Again, they can hear me as well. I'll go over. I'm gonna go collect Giles and drag him back over.
Okay, go for it.
On the note. Okay. I will. There you go. What do we do? What do we roll for that?
You can drag him. You can drag him, no problem. He doesn't weigh very heavy. He's not very heavy. You can just drag him. These dogs are completely like blinded at the moment. They're not even thinking about attacking anyone. They're well trained, but this is something they're not. You know, this is not something they've encountered before. They've all fallen apart.
Cool.
This guy's staggering around trying to figure out what the fuck's going on.
Right, in that case, then I'll go grab Giles. I'll take him back to the island, and then I'll come back, and I'll shout up to Ulf.
Piggyback.
Jump! I'll catch you.
Oh no!
You're just taken by the hand.
Yeah, I'll lead you. I'll lead you
over there. Like.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I would move myself, but you know, I'm unconscious.
Okay.
Right.
Ad, could you roll me a climb check to climb down this tree blind?
Oh,
Is it not Aiden?
-8 penalty, please, on top of your roll.
-8.
-8. So everything, including your bonuses for climb, and then -8 off the whole thing.
Okay, so that's 12
Well,
then
actually.
in the end.
So do you say that's 12 -8, or if that's 12
Yes,
at the end of it?
15 plus the 5 minus the 8. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, so 12. So you manage to climb down it fine, getting twigs and branches all over you, and Dave manages to guide you over the other side. You notice that the man who's the sort of the hound master, he's taken a bit of his shirt off and ripped it round and covered his eyes, so he can't see, and he's now sort of taken his dagger out, and he's sort of like this, like trying to search for you.
Nice.
I've got brownies. Remember that thing you did to me? Like, heal me a bit. Giles could do with some of that. I'll chuck out a trail ration on the floor.
You don't notice or don't hear anything, but there is just no response over this deafening. So it's intermittent. So sometimes there's no noise, sometimes there's a shed load of noise, but it's completely at random. This time it is completely drowned. I mean, they're probably getting gists between it, but there's not a whole lot that they can do with this blinding light and deafening noise anyway. So you don't know if they've either not heard you or don't care or don't have the magic left, but they're completely perturbed.
It might be a good idea to get the potion. I've got 1 potion left for cure light wounds.
I'll grab that then and chuck it in your mouth.
Oh, Lee, can you roll me? Sorry, probably 2 rounds have passed, haven't they? Could you roll me 2 more Constitution checks to see how further deep you get into the bleeding death?
Unfortunately, I can. Constitution, just one again. What is it? Is it
+1? It's +1 for your Constitution. So D20 +1. If you can do that roll twice for me, please.
Yeah,
and
sure.
we'll see if you get past. So, yep.
8 and 12.
Afraid you go. Yep. Now you need to pass -8. So now you need to beat 18.
Jesus.
Next roll.
Come on.
What have you got? What have you got to beat on?
It needs to be 18.
No, so what's the cure light wounds one?
D8
+1, is it not?
Yeah, but no one's cure light wounds you.
You've got to do.
You need to do another D20 roll to see how much you bleed out because 2 rounds have gone by.
Oh, I did 2. I had a +8 and a +12.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, you fell on both accounts. So you are. You're now in -9.
Yeah, lovely.
Wait, -9?
It's
Yeah.
-9. He's gone from -7 to -9.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So
Okay.
that cure light wounds needs to enter my system.
Yep. Anyone going to heal the bleeding man on the floor?
I'll take that and chuck it down his neck. Yeah.
D8 +1, please, Lee.
I thought I'd be at that rolls that one.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
I'm unconscious. Dying.
Right, Lee.
Roll good, Ad.
Come on.
Come on, Ad.
Oh. I was going to show you, but it doesn't really matter. It landed on an 8, so it'd be 9.
Oh, nice. A 9 puts you on 0. You're still unconscious, Lee, but you
I'll
are no
take
longer
that.
bleeding out.
That was worth it. Okay, we definitely need some potions if I survive this.
Mhm.
Can you
So,
touch yourself now, Lee?
No, he's unconscious still. He needs at least a day before he's awake again. Now you notice this guy puts his hand on a dog and he whistles to the others, and they start all heading away. So this guy basically puts his hand on a dog, and they're leading, and they're less perturbed by the light now. They've all got their eyes closed, and they're sniffing around, and they're sniffing away from the area. So they're all leaving.
Nice.
Do you guys wait? What do you guys do? Well, this man and his dogs are leaving.
Should we just try and... We've got no more potions, have we?
We have one.
I've got...
The
I got a
problem
green
is,
one.
you guys are completely blinded for the next hour around Dave. Intermittently, there's this large honking noise. You're currently alerting everyone in a several mile radius where you are as well.
So sleep's out of the question.
Green one.
Sleep would be. I mean, you don't have a choice but to sleep, Lee. Your character's unconscious, but for Ad, it's entirely unpleasant. Dave, for you, the noise isn't that much. For some reason, it seems as part of the magic is. For you, it's just like a gentle buzz. For everyone else, it's a deafening boom. For you, it's like someone's got like like the light on your camera phone. It's like that all around you. It's completely changed your vision. So it is a bit bright, and you kind of like, it's a little on the bright side. And you get this buzz in your ear occasionally. But for you, you don't get what the fuss is about.
I'm going to grab 2 chunks of clay from the riverbank and just jam it in my ear.
Yeah, easily done.
Well, I'm going to lay here on the floor because I'm still unconscious.
Well,
if you want to pass a significant period of time, you can just say we want to wait 1 hour. You might not, but you can just say you want to wait an hour.
I mean,
Giles isn't even on his feet, is he?
No.
He won't be until tomorrow.
Yeah, well, what we can do is we can
Because to get back to the camp, we've got to get up a cliff.
Unless we go the way the dogs are gone.
No thanks.
Sod that.
You go finish him off. I'll wait here with Giles.
I mean, I am pondering about going to collect the silk rope and the trident. Because I've already picked up the pouch.
So what was that? Silk rope? Did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got 60 foot of silk rope on him.
So I mean,
So is that special because it's silk, or
It's just lighter. It's not.
that's just light rope?
It just doesn't weigh as much in your inventory, so you can just switch it out to the rope you've already got, and it weighs like half. It's more expensive as a result. So let's have a look what you've got left. So you've left his coins on him, silk rope, dagger, trail rations, his fashionable black tricorner hat, his black leather armor, and his masterwork trident. These are the things that Fisk still has on his body, and that guy did not touch.
Okay, so he's got his hat and a dagger. So I'm just trying to write them all down so I know what's there. And cash. Okay. We could always do with more cash.
Oh, always doing more cash.
Especially the amount the potions cost in this game.
I mean, a little part of me is pondering about taking the green potion. I really hope it turns me into a Hulk.
It can turn you into a Hulk, or Ad probably has an alternative, which is the correct thing that happens. Go on, have a guess. What do you think the green potion would do?
Turns into a Christmas tree.
Yeah. Or a green jello or something like that.
You'll have to find out.
It's probably Lexax.
I mean, I mean, I could always... What? I mean, I could always feed it to Giles.
Oh, fake it out.
He's not conscious enough to know the difference.
But if it heals him, it's not. It's poison.
Unlikely.
It's poison. You know it.
Yeah, just kill me off a bit quicker.
God damn. There's nothing but bones left.
Do you guys want to pass an hour just so we can, like, you can get rid of the bright light? And because I ain't moving anywhere anyway. I'm out.
Yeah, well, I suppose there's not much more we can do, is there really?
I mean, I'm gonna nip over and
going to be coming back as soon as the dogs decide that they'll come back.
Yeah. I mean, why you could climb up and go hunting? Oh no, you can't. You're blind.
I'm gonna take on like 6 dogs and a dude.
They can still blind fight,
And,
so that they would be severely disadvantaged in a fight against you, Dave. But 7 creatures getting potentially a lucky hit off you occasionally, you might do all right. But
because at the moment you can't do anything, Lee, and I'm blinded and pretty much deaf, so I can't do anything.
There might be a chance for Angelus to go get a sneak attack on that bloke.
Yeah, it's all down to
he's
Dave,
cheating,
isn't it,
isn't
really?
Facing away from you.
terrible idea.
I mean, I say sneak attack. He's going to hear you. He's going to hear you.
it's good. He's going to hear. Yeah.
The ship's getting closer.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Do you know what? Let's do it. I'll just turn around to Ulf in between my giant. Which I don't know. I just know I'm buzzing. I just say to him, before you go anywhere, make sure you pick up all the stuff off that dude because I want it. I'm going after the Goldilocks bloke by the looks of it.
Okay, are you?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, give me a second. I'm just going to have to create a quick new arena for you then, for you to catch him up. He's a few rounds ahead of you, so you're going to have to try and track him. That's the only thing. So can you roll me a survival check to see if you can follow his tracks?
Oh god! If I can't follow his tracks, I'll have to come back. But what's my tracking? Was it
Just use your straight survival to see if you can follow his tracks. I mean, his tracks are relatively obvious, but
So my survival's 0, so let's see what we can get with this.
Yep, just straight D20 then.
10.
Can't see his tracks on the ground. I'm afraid.
Oh, no, you can't hear anything.
There's no... Well, actually, no, there is some blood on the ground. Yeah, I tell a lie. Sorry about that one. I forgot about that. Yeah, you see a line of blood on the ground. And you proceed to follow it.
Yeah.
Can you give me a perception? Give me a sec. I've really got to quickly duplicate a page.
You weren't expecting us to chase him, was you?
I really wasn't. Strangely enough.
You've had 2 weeks
This
to...
is a terrible
You've
idea,
had 3
We're gonna
weeks
get
to
screwed
prepare
over.
for this.
I thought you... I did not think that you guys would try and chase this dude down. At all.
I like it. I like the fact that you have surprised the dungeon master.
I've got enough to
That's a terrible
always make
idea.
a...
Although this might be when you tell your boss something and he doesn't like it, so he just penalises you further.
I'm going to die, guys. This is my last game.
Pardon me.
Oh, bless you.
Dave, while you're hunting the dogs that just happen to mutate into T-Rexes.
And just as you get there, your potion wears off.
Yeah. And one of those dogs explodes. With ninja. What do you call those things? Not very nice.
Shuriken, is it?
Oh, it might be.
Yeah.
They're little throwing spike things.
Yeah. Just let them come out the dog.
So you can blind from about 60 foot, Dave. As you catch up, I'll move you to the new map. So as you catch up, Dave, you see 2 straggling dogs in the back. Sort of sniffing around, trying to follow the kennel master and the 4 other dogs out at the front. And these are the ones that are limping because of the caltrops in the front. You notice a trail of blood that slowly starts to ebb and slow down, and you notice that there's no longer blood on the ground, but you've caught up with the dogs and this guy, and he sort of looks back and sees you, but he is give me a second. I'm just gonna...
Still bleeding out, still bleeding out, still bleeding out. It's bled a lot.
He's 80 foot away, so he's no longer blinded by you, nor are the dogs that are with him, but he's sort of still moving away. And he whistles to the 2 dogs that are in front of you. And they sort of like start sniffing around, trying to sort of get the scent of what's behind them.
Cool.
What are you going to do?
Hope I'm a good shot with an arrow. Do I get a penalty when it's 80 feet? I don't think I do I?
Let's have a quick look. So...
yeah, it's...
With your bow... With short bow, you get +4 at 56. So 60 feet to 120 feet is +4.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah.
So yeah, it's +4. Yeah.
Sound.
Yeah, because it's within 120
the 2 dogs
feet.
near me are gonna get... Sorry.
That's fine. Sorry, I had nothing to say apart from the +4 you get.
Right, okay. So the 2 dogs that are near me they can't really pose too much of a threat to me because they're blinded as hell. So I'm going to fire my bow straight at him and hope I get a good hit.
Okay, cool. We'll resume because none of them are surprised because you can't surprise them. We'll use the same initiative scores from last time. So that's you
Cool.
first, Dave. So if you want to roll to hit for me on this guy.
Oh, just roll to hit, yeah?
Yeah, just roll
A
to hit,
D6.
please.
Okay.
No, sorry. Roll to hit is see if your arrow hits him. That's what I mean. Sorry. So D20.
D20. Okay, cool.
Damage is the D6. To hit is the D20.
Yeah. Okay, well, rolling on.
So D20
There we
plus
go.
4, please.
6 plus 4. 6. So I got 16 plus 4. 20.
20. 20 is a miss.
What?
This guy's got big
Turn back.
chainmail on, plate sides. This guy's really heavily armored.
Wow.
So what do I hit him, or just kind of like hit the armor, or? Oh.
It just bounces off the plate on his shoulder. It just does nothing.
Okay, one less.
So that is not a hit. 2 dogs around him don't do anything. The other 2 dogs around him don't do anything. The other 2 dogs are trying to find you, and they are going to try and find you using scent. So let's have a look at that ability of the dogs. So they begin to sniff around. Plus 5 scent tracking.
This was a terrible idea, guys.
You can always retreat.
Hey, I'm unconscious on the floor. It wasn't my idea.
So they start to sniff around and eventually sort of kind of suss the direction you're in. So you notice that they've got their nose trained on you and they start growling.
So clipping that up.
I'll do one back.
They clearly are like perturbed by this. They really don't like it, but they are, they're starting to hold their ground. They're used to it. The master's giving them orders. They're no longer thrown by it. They're, they're getting on with it. These are exceptionally well trained dogs.
I'm gonna put my bow away.
Okay.
Pull out the big, nice, shiny axe.
Okay.
And is it my go again now? Am I?
Yep.
Is it me? Okay, cool. I'm going to attack this dog here.
Oh, I don't like when Paris rolls.
10.
No,
Sorry,
no.
that was an accident. It was a complete accident roll. So yeah, go for it. No, please do. So Dave, you're sorry, not your turn just yet. This fighter guy has to go. He's going to sort of like just kind of laugh, and he's going to continue to head off, and he's going to whistle at those 2 dogs to still go for you, and he's going to start, he's going to move sort of his 60 foot further away, so he's going to attempt to leave further. He's not entirely confident against the weird magic that you've shown. So let's just say he's 60 foot away than what you can measure him on the map. So I'm just going to add 60 foot to him because he's running. Dave, your turn. So you've got your axe. What are you going to do?
I'm going to have to attack the dogs. Just get rid of them.
Okay, awesome. So which one are you going to attack? If you want to move your character to show which one you're going to attack.
I'm going to attack this one here.
Cool. Go for it. So D20 for me. Plus
20.
what you normally would to melee attack. So for you with your dagger, it would be +2 to hit on your dagger. Roll a D20 to hit +2. And I'll add any bonuses that the axe gives you to hit.
Cool. I roll 13.
And that is a hit.
Yep, cool. And then me D6, isn't it?
Yep, D6, and then add a D10 onto that. Sorry, so roll 2 things. So roll a D6 and roll a D10 as well.
Yeah, I'll roll the d6. I'll figure out where the d10 is in a minute.
Okay, that's fine.
Is a 4. And d10 is not that one. Which one's the d10? Sorry.
It's the one that looks like a teardrop. So that one's your D10.
Oh, that one. Hey, we got the same dice.
Yes, we do
Nice.
today.
Cool. Okay. So yeah, I'll roll me d. That one is also a 4.
See, I won't get dice because I know if I had dice, I would spend half the time trying to find them on the floor.
So I got me my very snazzy tray. I'm a nerd.
I'm just having a quick look whether it works. I cannot apply sneak attack to opponent with benefits from any form of concealment. I'm just checking if you get sneak attack on this.
Kind of do.
Yeah, you get sneak attack on.
Sorry.
You get sneak attack on this as well, Dave.
No, sneaky,
So
sneaky.
yeah, you get a lot of damage. So sorry, did you roll your d6 for damage and your d10?
Yes, I got 4 for both.
You got 4 for both, so that's 8 damage, and that is plus your +1 for your strength. So that's 9 plus the extra +2 because of the magical weapon. So that's 11 plus an extra d6, please, for sneak attack.
Shit. Okay. Man, why can't I have done this on the dude, man? I roll 5.
5. So what were we up to, guys? Come on, maths wizards.
11, 16.
Like
11,
Sing
16.
maths
Sorry, I didn't
wizards.
realise we're on 11. 11 plus 5, 16. Yeah. So that is 16 damage you do to this dog. And this dog is basically ripped in half. It was damaged anyway from the arrow and the caltrops, and it just slices in half.
I mean,
Yay.
So
nobody
that
likes to hit.
is dead, and I will
Wonder.
remove its corpse.
Go on.
Second dog is going to attack you. And because you are essentially concealed, because you've blinded it, it has a 50% chance of not hitting you because of that blindness. So I'll do that first. So I'm rolling my 2d10s. I'm rolling a d100 essentially. Anything over 50 and they'll hit you. 68. So it hits you because of your concealment. What's your AC? 16 it has to beat.
Yes,
Your AC
my AC
is 15. Yep, so it gets a
15.
hit on you.
bollocks.
And the dog gets 1d6 plus 3.
Oh no.
Yes.
8 damage, Dave.
Oh, you are shitting me. I'm down to 3 health from 1 bite.
Wow.
Remember, you were still recovering from
This
what
is
the
really-
imp did to you. So you adding every 1 health on
Oh.
each round. I would say
no, I
that put you
did
back
not.
to full
I
health.
did
So
not.
what I would say is take X amount off your full health, because that would have taken you there.
How much was it? How much was it on my full health?
I don't know how much is your full health.
What's your full
How much-
HP?
I just. My
Okay,
full
so it's
HP
8
is
off 19, so you've got 11.
You survived.
So that's the end of that round, and they're going to move another 60 foot away, so they're now 120 feet away from you. Plus that, so nearly 200 feet they're away. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, so they're over 200 feet away. It's a pretty thick wood. I think you're going to have to roll a perception check to see if you can find them again, because they are sprinting.
Right.
Okay, final attack on the dog. You go first, Dave.
Cool. So roll me d20 on him when you want it.
D20 plus 2. And I'll add whatever this gives you.
That is 14 plus 2, 16. Well, that's not a hit, is it? Or is it a hit?
That's a hit on the dog, yeah.
Good.
Particularly with it blinded at the moment.
So roll a d6
damage,
now.
yeah.
That is 4 again.
Yep. We'll do the +1 for your strength now, so that's 5. So then let's do the magic damage.
Yeah.
So 1d10, please.
Which is me d10.
Yep.
That is...
I didn't hear that number, Dave, sorry.
Oh, 7.
7. So 7 plus 2 for the magic damage is 9. And then 1d6 for the sneak attack damage, please, Dave.
Cool.
3. So that is 19 damage right there on this dog. Yeah, you essentially cut it in the back of its neck and it just drops to the ground with its tongue out on the floor. So it is, yeah. Not entirely sure whether it's alive or dead, but it's heavily bleeding out on the floor.
Wait, that didn't kill it?
You don't know. It's just dropped. Blood's everywhere. Its tongue's out. It's on the floor.
I wouldn't worry about it too much.
I mean, I know technically you guys on TV, but what do you reckon? Should we pursue this? Should I carry on pursuing this dude, or should I just come back? I mean, he's ran off.
I would get the hell away. Considering what you had to roll last time, did you get something like a D20 and it missed?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't bother.
Yeah,
He's got high armor.
I mean, but this axe will cut through the armor like it did the other dude.
Don't forget he's still got 4 other dogs with him as well.
And is pretty far away.
He's got 2 left now.
He's now 260 feet away, so you don't necessarily know whether you can find him again. You'll have to roll a perception.
No, we'll go back.
We need to get Jarl back to somewhere.
Yeah, well, what I can do is, whilst I'm here... Oh, no, do I do it to a dog? I don't know. I feel bad doing it to a dog.
You're not going to take its head off again, are you?
It'd bring it back for us to eat.
Yeah, I was thinking about bringing
another round of Dave rolling to hack through its head with the blunt knife.
Spit roast to the dog.
It's a different kind of video.
Oh my god! Jesus, dude.
Moving swiftly on. You coming back, Dave?
Going back? What do you mean?
Run away!
Run away.
Oh yeah, I'm coming back. Yeah. I thought I locked out again then. Yeah, I'll come back.
Okay, cool. Let's move to the previous screen.
But next time we meet him, we've got 2 dogs less to deal with.
That's true, and it's not like it's easy to train dogs that exceptionally well.
So,
should we grab the gubbins off old... was it Fisk?
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
Let's go grab some shit off him.
How are you going to divide his loot then? Because lots of you are very close to full, aren't you, on your weight limits? Do you want to know how much the silk rope weighs?
How much does it weigh?
Find that out. Silk rope.
Oh. Don't Google, do we?
come on, let me onto your website. It weighs £5, and you get 50 foot. Sorry, not 60 foot.
That's weighs lighter than my current rope, though, don't it?
Yeah. So if you want to switch it out, you get some. You get some extra weight back.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll swap that
Where
out.
does it say my carry? So currently I've got, probably with my gold bar and everything else, about £30 in weight.
On your character sheet, it says your weight allowance. You don't really want to exceed light. If you do exceed light, you start taking penalties.
Oh, okay, so yeah, I've literally got £3 to spare then.
Yeah.
I'm on 43 live. So.
Do you want to know the details of the trident?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weighs £4,
Oh.
and it's super nice.
I'm writing that down.
It's silver. This trident with like really dark black enamel prongs. Its handle isn't jeweled, but it's got lots of intricacy etched into it. And there's sort of like little runes in the handle as well that have been etched in. For those of you who read, it says Fisk on it. And the pommel sort of ends with a sort of clearly a piece of coral that's wrapped round in silver. So it's a really nice, clearly expensive, exceedingly well made, custom trident.
I'm taking that. So
You're taking that. Okay.
Well,
Can you carry it?
I'll take it, but we not like just. It's only just because I can carry it. If I've got the weight
don't forget you got to carry me. I'm knocked out for the whole day.
Have you got enough weight then with that giant axe?
So the axe that Dave has just weighs average like a throwing axe, even though it's much bigger. It's as light as a throwing axe. It's strangely light for the type of axe it is.
What time of day is it?
It's probably late afternoon.
Okay.
I think I need to do a check on my weight, what weight I actually am carrying at this point. Well,
Dave's character is still honking and beeping, by the way, and still blinding you all. Unless you want to wait the, I think only probably about 6 minutes have gone by. If you want to wait the rest of the hour, that's fine.
Well, yeah. Tell you what, can I collect all the things from him and just take him back to this island with us, and we'll just sit him down there, and then once I stop glowing, we can sort it out then. Yeah,
that's fine. So you wait an hour after collecting those things, and the moment the light dims down and the noise fades, all the brownies come out. One of them like just looks like stock like a rabbit in headlights, and he's like, "Are you a god?"
He's been dying to do that.
All that clay back out of my ears.
Yes, I am a god.
Command them, Dave. Command them.
Roll me a diplomacy, because that is a lie. Plus 6. Plus 6 is your diplomacy, so D20 plus 6.
Come on, please be good. I want to be a god.
I'm going to say it's not completely implausible. I'm not going to give you any penalties or pluses for it, but it's a big claim.
Oh man, this is going to be ace.
How big are these brownies again? Are they about a foot tall or something?
Oh, they're tiny. They're not. They're like a hand and a half. They're so probably about a foot tall, just under a foot. Some of them are.
And not one of them thought, Giles there could do a little hand and maybe a little jab of health.
So I'll probably raid all your pockets first.
I rolled 16 plus my diplomacy.
Plus 6 is 22.
Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, so there's a couple of them who are kind of like, nah, he's not a god, but there's a good solid pack of them that are like,
All hail Angelus.
yeah. That one of them goes, "Do you and Rock God fight? We
No,
worship strongest god."
Oh shit.
Oh, this could go pear-shaped, dude.
You
Wait a
stay
minute,
with
did
us.
that rock move? Really?
It shuffled as the dogs began to get on the island, and then the dogs like backed off. But they're like, can only be one god of the island, god of rock, god of light.
That's not like some massive hermit crab type thing, is it?
The rock, it is a massive stone. It is if it was a creature, it'd be a large sized creature. But it looks like just a massive boulder.
I'm just waiting for this epic fight between Dave and me.
I mean, yeah, I think he should just shut up at the first opportunity he gets.
We want strongest god.
Just wait for that mouth to open.
I don't know what to say this time.
Flip a coin, Dave.
I say to him, I see no other god here.
Oh God. Oh.
They sort of turn and look at the rock, and they look at you, and they don't see that the rock stirs. And that, you know, a couple of them start to work it out and go, "Oh, he's not God, not God. True God would defeat God of rock." And they started to walk away disappointedly. And others are still just looking at you, just in awe.
I say to him, if you heal my like you did my friend Ulf, then I will fight Rock God.
Oh God.
The ones that have asked you to fight are already, you know, they're already disbelievers already. They're like, this is not how it happened with Rock God. And like they're just shaking their heads and moving away. The others are still kind of in awe, but they're, you know, they're not moving. They're clearly either a little bit frightened of you, but in awe of you, but not really interacting.
Can I just turn around to him and just go, "Aww," and then see if anyone reacts to it?
It's not the same noise that they experienced. I think a few of them just look at you strangely.
Worth it.
So,
I mean, I could drink the other potion.
Oh God, no! Save that.
Save it. Might need it. Yeah.
So before long, a couple of the brownies go up to Ad, and they sort of hold their hands out and they say, "Food for brownies."
Oh, I chucked a trail ration on the floor.
Okay, they go search for it, and
Okay.
they gobble up and they say, "More, please."
Oh, for fuck's sake. How many of them is there around us?
There's about 3 for now on you. The rest have sort of started to hide away, apart from the 2 that are out staring at Dave, just like quietly following him and just like watching him with awe. The others have sort of gone underground. They're no longer impressed by the glowing, noisy man.
So, going out, I could buy some more. I'll chuck them another 3 trail rations.
They nod and they gobble it up greedily, and they start checking Lee's sort of body, corpse, unconscious thing. And one of them lies a hand on his head and whispers something.
Well, I'm nicking your rations.
And you heal by 7.
Hey!
Nice.
God,
Back
that
on
must
his
have been
feet.
some right sweet talking.
Although, Lee, can you give me a d20 for perception?
I will. Oh
Your
no,
pants
which?
have disappeared.
Yeah, more like my rations have disappeared. D20. What, +1?
Plus your perception.
I'm sure that's +1. I'll check.
What was your socks
Yeah.
that pulled down last time, wasn't it?
God knows what these guys are going to do. I forgot what I'm looking for. Perception is.
Yeah.
Skill modifier?
Yes, please. That's the sum total. Yeah.
See, I've been to sleep. Right. 21. I definitely know what's going on here.
Nice. Yep. You look down, and the bag that your trail rations in has been cut open, and you have none left.
Bastards.
You know it.
Yep.
They've jacked you, but they've healed you.
I mean, like, yeah, I'm alive, but I'm starving. Got it. Trail rations. I had 5 trail rations. 5.
All gone. As you shake through, you notice there's like a little daisy in there that they've left as a sort of, we've stolen all your things, but we've left you a nice little flower and healed you.
Okay. I mean, I'm alive. That's probably worth it. I don't know how much trail rations are. I'll go buy some more.
Okay. So you guys are healthy. You guys are on this island, and it's beginning to get sort of darker outside. It's late afternoon. It's now early evening after waiting an hour. It's getting to the point where the light's slowly dimming.
Can I curiously just put my fingers beneath that rock to see if I can feel anything? By rock, you mean this rock? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. If you want to reach under the rock, go for it. Yeah. You reach under the rock, and can you give me a knowledge? Let's have a look at your knowledge skills.
Nature, geography.
Yeah, you just have nature, geography, dungeoneering. Can I get a knowledge? I'll get a knowledge nature from you then, Ed. D20 plus your knowledge nature.
21.
And that's plus your 7. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
You reach under, and it's oddly warm, and you notice that the rock kind of bubbles softly, almost like animate, metamorphic rock. Now, this isn't a creature you recognize. It's not something that's part of nature, but it's got an otherworldly element to it. But it's definitely made of rock. And as you reach, you sort of feel a semblance of not a humanoid shape, but a shape that moves. You feel legs on it. You feel arms on it. You feel something that feels like a tucked under head. This is clearly some sort of giant earthen form that's otherworldly, that's clearly sort of like hunched over, curled in a ball in this rock.
Oh, it's not another troll, is it, or something?
Oh,
it's not something that you recognise as a giant creature.
Okay, so I'd know if it was a troll.
It feels otherworldly rather than something in nature. It doesn't feel like the sort of the animals, the creatures that belong to the material plane that you're on. It feels like it's an outsider. It's something that's come from another plane of existence.
Maybe
a sort of a more elemental place.
See, do I leave well alone or? I'll call over to Angelus and Charles. Charles, Angelus, put your fingers in here. Take a look at this.
I will move over, and I will put my fingers underneath the rock, and I will just give it a little bit of bleeding touch.
I was waiting for that.
Are you really?
I just want to see if anything appears. It's a rock. I'm just checking it's a rock.
We don't want to damage it, surely.
Bleeding touch won't kill it too much.
We don't want to give it a sign of aggression, though, do we?
Yeah,
so,
you're right.
Bleeding touch, a melee touch attack, you can cause a living creature to take 1d6 points of damage per round. If you want to do it, 1d6 worth of damage, please, for me, Lee.
Do you want to know if it's living or not?
We're all out of healing. I'm just thinking if we start and piss it off instantly, we're in trouble.
It's only if it's a living thing. If it's not living, we'll be alright. Aren't you intrigued to know if
We
anything
are-
lives underneath this?
I'm pretty sure it's alive.
We are so cold.
What it is, I've no idea.
You're scared.
Yes.
Very- Do it.
Have you got that axe ready?
Yep, axe is at the ready.
Oh, God.
Okay, here we go.
Oh god.
Only
Dear
two.
Oh, God.
Okay, so it gets a save to halve the damage.
It gets a save. Oh,
I should have left it alone, shouldn't I?
You should have called Giles over. That's what you should have done.
What did you roll initially, Lee? It's halved and it takes half this damage.
okay, it only takes one then.
Okay, only takes 1 damage.
I'm just waiting for those immortal words. Please roll for initiative.
Please do roll for initiative. The rock begins to shift, and you hear a. As it stretches out, and you see a very incredibly large, pissed off earth elemental. That as it unfolds, you actually see its size is closer to this.
Oh, fuck.
So I got 17. My initiative.
Dave, you're the god. This is your jewel, isn't it, surely?
I'm just going to roll initiative for this thing.
I feel like
This was a bad idea, guys.
18 I've rolled.
As your dungeon master, this is a really bad idea.
I just wanted to chat.
Just saying.
I wanted no part of this. I didn't even want to fight it. Like, I was trying to say that it wasn't a god. And...
Top 10 bad ideas.
I rolled 18, so plus my initiative.
That is this adventure. Bad ideas.
25 I got.
I got 18.
Oh, God.
So Dave's 25. 18 is add.
Are we past the point of reasoning?
Negotiating.
Are you past the
yours is
point of
best roll, isn't it,
negotiating?
Dave?
Let's have a look. Initiative is -1, 18 -1, so that's 17. Lee, what's your initiative? Is your initiative minus something?
My initiative is 18 minus. Well, I got 17. It was -1.
Okay. Yeah, so this thing has the same. You're a player character, so you get the priority, so this thing goes last. Dave, you go first.
Kill Giles, not us.
That's start. I see. I was going to go with actually trying to reason with the thing, but hey ho.
Oh yeah, no, I'm going to do that. I am reasoning with it. I'm reasoning for mine in old life.
How do you plead?
Oh no, that was a joke. Hang on. I mean, I don't know what we can do. Yes, I mean,
Just say we weren't sure what you were, so we accidentally tried to kill you.
Yeah.
sorry to disturb your slumber. Could you give us a lift up to the top of that hill?
What language do you use?
Oh no.
Oh.
Wait, what language do I have?
I assume you're speaking in common, always.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I've got common, dwarven, and elven. I don't think it speaks that. Hopefully, you speak common.
Hopefully. Are you going to do anything else you round?
Run.
How far do you run?
Behind Ulf and Giles.
Okay. It's your turn.
See, my bluff is nowhere near any good. I'm actually going to start making my way back up this cliff.
Just turn around. Nope. Bye.
It's not a bad idea. Lee, what's the plan?
That cliff, is the rope still there to climb up it?
Yeah.
Excellent.
It is.
I'm going for that rope.
Okay, that triggers an attack of opportunity.
I don't care. I'm getting out of here.
Okay. This thing is gonna slam you.
A rock.
So it rolled a 6 plus 14 to hit.
Jesus.
So that's 20. It's going to do non-lethal damage to you because it wants to knock you unconscious. So it's going to do 2d6 plus 7 damage.
Oh, so it doesn't want to kill you then?
So 6 plus 7. It does 13 damage to you, Lee. Non-lethal damage. Does that bring you down to past 0?
Non-lethal damage. I don't know how non-lethal damage works.
It works alongside your regular damage and stacks. So if someone hits you with non-lethal damage, it just means that they don't kill you.
Oh,
knock him out.
So I'm unconscious again then.
So he's basically just gone bonk on your head and knocked you unconscious.
What was the figure? Was it?
It was was it 6? Yeah, it was. No, it was 13. Sorry, 13 non-lethal damage. You have. Okay. So non-lethal damage heals by the end of the day. So all you need to do is have a sleep, and then in the morning your non-lethal damage is gone. So by tomorrow you'll be awake again. But what it does, Lee, is it takes you and picks you up.
Will I be back on 7 when I wake up?
Yes, you will be.
Okay. I'm going to leave my HP at 7 then so I don't forget it.
So what it's going to do is... Well, that's the end of its turn. It's picked you and it's lifted you up. Dave, what's your turn?
I'm
blaming Ulf.
I was just feeling what it was.
I was just feeling what it was. I was just checking to see if it was alive with a bit of bleeding touch.
The brownies have started chanting, God mad, God mad, God mad.
DM, I speak Undercommon. What's that?
So Undercommon is the language of those who live underneath the earth. So those who live in a realm of pure darkness that sees no light.
Okay.
Give it a try if you like. Free action to speak to someone, so try whatever language you like. You can go through you can go through about 5 or 6 different languages in one sentence. Please understand me, please understand me, please understand me.
So is it my go yet, or is it Dave?
It's Dave's go.
Dave, isn't it? Yeah.
Dave seems to be broken at the moment. We can skip you go if we like.
I'm just like, what the hell am I meant to do here?
Burn.
I'll speak to it. I can speak to it in all the languages I know in one go, can't I?
You'll have to switch between them. You can repeat the same sentence, but it's not an issue. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll say, put my friend down for a trade. Put my friend down for a trade. Put my friend down for a trade.
Okay. Yeah, there's just no response from this creature. It clearly either doesn't understand you or doesn't comprehend language or doesn't speak any of the languages that you know or isn't interested in bargaining.
What did you know, Dave?
I know common, dwarven and elven.
Okay. So is that your go over, Dave?
Unless you want to make an action, do any moves or attack anything.
I mean, we could fight god to god, but I think I'm gonna lose. Alternatively, I mean, all the gear that guy had is on this island, isn't it now?
Yeah, unless you've had a chance to divide it between you, which I think is.
I think it was still in the pile on the floor, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, can I pick up the trident and hold it above my head like that? And that's all. That's all I want to do. Just hold my trident above, not like pointing at it, just kind of holding it above.
Oh, to like offer it to it.
Yeah.
Sure. Ad, what are you gonna do?
I'll just shout in giant and undercommon. Please put my friend down. He meant you no harm.
Yeah, doesn't
Curious.
again doesn't register that you've spoken to it or even that it's heard you. What it does on its turn now is it moves forward with Lee's character, and it takes. You notice that the next lace is sort of embedded in its shoulder. It takes the spear, and it sort of again merges it with its form, so you can just see the handle poking out of it. And it takes Lee's body, and he sort of places it gently away from the island, and then goes back and shrinks down and hunches down into there.
Let's make like a tree and leaf, Dave.
I think you two should run and leave me unconscious.
I think the DM's been mighty kind there.
It likes metal objects. It's a remarkably simple creature.
Yeah. I was right with that. At least that was good.
See, there's that, Dave. But think how many sparkly things he might have inside him.
Stop it now. I mean, I could drink the green potion, guys.
So this creature is 16 foot long and weighs 6,000 pounds.
Yeah, we're not defeating this, are we?
Let's leave the rock alone.
It knocked Giles unconscious with one hit.
Yeah.
And that was with non-lethal damage.
Oh, can you imagine what it'd be like when it did the lethal? Good God. Okay. Well, we'll put a pin in this.
Bye, brownies. Nice to meet you.
Yeah. Bye, you little shits. Bye. No,
that was a very costly error, by the way. That was a very nice spear.
Yeah. Damn it.
Oh, well, it wouldn't have been. We'd have taken it back to town with us if somebody hadn't gone and tried to kill a rock.
It's my standard greeting.
It's true. The Vulcans do this. Lee does bleeding touch.
Does it scream? It's alive.
So, I almost forgot what our whole point coming down here was. It was retrieving our axe, wasn't it? Seems such a long time.
Dave
ago
has
now.
it.
I got the axe done.
So,
are you guys gonna split the remaining loot, or are you gonna leave before the?
He's not
so go on.
Scoop it up, Dave. Before we go, just scoop it up.
Yeah.
I think the only thing mainly left of value is the coins.
Yeah, I'll pick them up.
Okay, cool. I'll let you know how much they cost later. Are you guys going to hightail it up the cliff?
Yeah, well, I've got to try and drag Giles up the hill, haven't I?
Yeah. So maybe that's a good use of the 50 foot of rope you have. So I can imagine you saying that it's going to be difficult dragging him up without some sort of pulley.
If we tie it round him and loop the silk rope round a tree and both of us pull on it.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Yeah, leave him up.
I mean, this is about 100 foot cliff.
Oh,
that's the only thing, and you've got 50 foot of rope.
Oh, 50.
Yeah.
2 bits of rope together.
You've still only got, 50 foot of pull, even if you tie 2 50 foot ropes together. You've got 100 foot, but either way, you've got to create, you think it's halved because it loops over the tallest tree, which that means you might not necessarily be able to find purchase. If you do like something like pintons, it's still not gonna.
So
Are
you strong enough to fireman's lift him up the cliff, Dave?
I think I am.
Let's have a look how much you can carry. So let's have a look how much Lee's character weighs. So You're carrying at least 26 pounds. Your character probably weighs, what, 160 pounds, Lee, probably? Realistically.
So would that,
To
for
weight
me and Dave,
carried.
would that be what your lift overhead is?
18.
Yeah, it'd be push and drag, surely.
That's about 11 stone, Lee, your character would... How much do you think your character weighs in stone?
I don't know. I've got no weight value at the top, and I don't know where my weight value is. Where it
It's
should
up to
be.
you. We've not put it in yet. We've not decided how much your character weighs.
To be fair, it's quite small, my character, isn't he? It's 5 foot.
Is that all you are?
So probably weighs...
Yeah. A medium
Mine's 5 foot. What the hell?
A 52-year-old, 5 foot, medium cleric.
I mean, he's as tall as you want him to be, Lee. I only put 5 foot in because that's the medium default. So it's up to you how much he weighs, how much is his height.
Okay. I feel like this character is quite small though, so I'm going to go 5 foot, and I'm going to go with he weighs 9 stone.
Okay, so 9 stone is, what, about 140 pounds? That's 10, so that's going to be 130 pounds roughly. At 9.2, plus the 20 stone that you're carrying, it's going to be about 150 pounds in total. Right, let's have a look how much you can carry extra, Dave, before you are burdened. So your heavy load is 130, already carrying 43. You're not going to be able to lift him. You can lift him off the ground, but you're not going to be able to climb with him.
What if they both did it together?
Yeah, let's have a look. So how much can you drag plus your amount? So light is 143. Let's say you can drag heavy. Well, let's say really you can climb and do medium. So you've got... So your lightweight taken off heavy. So that means you've got 98 pounds to spare. Ad has £100 per 33. So you have 77 to spare. Oh yeah, so combined you can pull him up, can't you? No problems, and not be heavily encumbered. Well, you'd be just underneath heavily encumbered, so you'd still be medium encumbered. So you'd get a penalty to your climb skills, but yeah, you'd be able to do it. You'd have to lash him to both of you.
Cool.
But you could theoretically carry Giles up a cliff.
I mean, ideally, if we can tie a rope round you and use that to carry him between us. Ideally, around his neck, since he did that to the rock.
I know.
Yeah. Can I get climb skills from the both of you at minus... I think it's just that you can't use your strength. Let's have a look about your strength scores. Can I just get a... Well, you're assisting each other. Can I just get a -2 off? You just roll your scores and just -2 off each of your climb totals.
I rolled 15.
Yep, nice.
Am I not including my climb skills?
You are including your climb, but then you're just taking -2 off the top.
Oh, so 12 altogether then.
I
With
got
the
14 in
-2.
total.
Yep, as long as both of you get more than 10 because of all the climbing gears there, it's fine. So you slowly and laboriously spend the rest of the evening taking taking Lee up the cliff, and by the time you get up there, it's dark, almost pitch black.
Yeah.
Can you roll me a perception, please? Now you're up at the top of the cliff.
Oh, we're gonna get attacked by the bloke with the dogs again.
Oh no. 11.
I rolled 19 on that one. That was nice.
Yep. And Dave is unconscious, and Lee is unconscious. Dave, you see on the island the brownies are out. They're singing. They're sharing what remains of the feast that you put on. One of them's opening one of the bottle of wines that it switched with an empty bottle. They're all having fun and partying, and they're like, "Ooh, new spear for the earth god," and they're all like celebrating it up and like whoop 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 sort of thing. They're super happy and ecstatic. It's been a really interesting day. They're picking over the body of Fisk. And taking out some of the sort of the less valuable things. There's a little iron dagger that they're putting in on the rock, and it's absorbed it completely. They're just, taking off his boots, his leather armor. It's all going down into the little brownie holes. So they seem very, very thrilled with the current situation. And some of them are like waving goodbye to you and like saying, bye, light god, bye, picnic man. And, they're just sort of like celebrating. And their whole island is like lit up. And then all of a sudden it all goes dark and you see the tiny little specks of light in their little brownie holes as they sort of retreat underneath for the night. As you look round the top of the cliff, you see in the distance, probably about 300 feet away, you see a small fire, a lit up tree area, and you see smoke spiraling up like that of a campfire about 300 foot away.
Cool. I'll let Ulf know that.
Okay, so is that not the direction we came from, or?
Yeah.
It's similar to the direction you came from. It's similar enough, but it's a close encampment that you have not been in.
Oh, okay.
Or you think it's an encampment. There's clearly a lit fire there.
Can I approach stealthily just to the outskirts of the camp? And
yeah, go for it.
Have a look.
Give me a stealth score, please, Ad.
Where's my stealth gun? 10. 18.
Okay, cool. So you begin to creep into the camp. I'm just going to reveal some of these areas. So I'll reveal you, Ad. And then I'll reveal what you kind of see of this camp. Because it's getting pretty... Actually, the fire's pretty bright. You see... You see a camp, and you see horses, you see caravans, you see a man preaching over a firelight, and he's sort of saying things like, of all the gods, only Nex holds the secret of escaping death. And he's like just preaching loads of shit about Nex, and he's in a black cloak and a similar vestment to what Lee's wearing. And he's shouting really loud to the point that like everyone can hear him because he's screaming, and he's saying, dedicate your earthly vessel and you shall find freedom in the afterlife.
Oh God, he's not going to sacrifice somebody, is he? Does anyone look like they might be bound and not really wanting to be sacrificed?
No, everyone's free. Everyone's there. They're just kind of a couple of people around. Some of them are like, yeah, and others are kind of like, well, this is just a man talking about God. Other people are eating over here. These guards are watching over, and the horses are kind of just meandering about and eating.
Okay. So I'll walk back and just say to Angelus, is Jarl still unconscious?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll just say to Angelus, the camp looks safe, but there's another one of Jarl's types in a black robe. Whatever you do, don't shake his hand.
Cool.
I think we can risk walking into the camp.
Don't know. This guy's anything like our Giles. He'll end up. I'll heal it. Death.
Don't let him touch anyone.
Yeah. Well. Okay. Yeah. We'll yeah. We'll bring Giles into the camp and ask for any medical help if we can. I guess so we can get Giles on the moon.
The guy that's clearly doing a sacrifice might be able to help.
Which one's the Giles type?
The Giles type.
He's preaching. He's on top of this cart.
I hope it's nice.
Well, he might think you, like, if he's like you, you're asleep and unconscious. He might as well just send you off on your way.
Oh crap! I can see it now. Slit.
Please accept my offering next.
So how do you approach then this gentleman who's preaching?
Oh, we don't. We ignore that guy. We'll go to the other guys. We'll go to the normal people.
What, the guards or the people around the fire who are eating?
I'll walk up to this person with the bow and arrow.
Yeah.
And just be like, "Greetings, good evening. Mind if we share camp?"
He turns to you and he nods and he says, I don't think the people here would have a problem with it. This isn't my campsite." He says it's his, and he points to the guy on the to this guy.
Of course he does.
I believe he came with one of the chieftains, but for some reason he's made his camp over here. I heard the noise, so I came over, and he's preaching.
I'll shout up to him and go, "We've got one of your flock here. He just needs to rest for the night."
He says, "My flock is the flock of the damned. My flock will rise up at the end of the world. They will rise from their crypts, and we shall take the earth." And he sort of looks at you and he says, "Are you ready to give your earthly vessel to Nex?"
Not just yet. Not ready yet at all. No. Plenty of time for that.
He says, "Few are ready, but Nex calls regardless."
Good talking to you, mate.
Yeah, nice evening. We're just going to take a pew, if you don't mind.
The one person who'd probably get on with is unconscious.
Yeah. I suppose better. We'll drag Charles in and plonk him down by the fire.
God, no, keeping me away from that guy. I like my fruit.
If you bring him there, then okay.
Yeah.
So he points at Dave's character now, and he says, how heavy is the weight of your soul?"
We had quite a big lunch. Sausages for breakfast.
Oh,
He says, have you committed sin? Have you betrayed your gods?
I have no gods. I commit no sin. I am free. I am a free man. Not a number.
He points at you and he says, "But a Skaldar shall still weigh you upon death. And where will your soul go? Where will your body go in the afterlife? You'll be taken and you'll be eaten by the cosmos. But pledge your soul to Nex, and Nex will save you. You shall return. You shall rise at the end. You shall inherit the earth. A Skaldar will save you. Sorry, Nex will save you from a Skaldar."
I feel like my cat's almost like stirring, going, "No, he won't."
Just go, "Have you got any flyers we can take away? We'll read up on them and let you know."
I feel like we're closing the front door.
Yeah. Leave us a flyer.
There are others now who are sort of like crying and on their knees, and he's bringing forth a very, very interesting deontological arguments for people. People are like, "I've sinned, I don't think my gods will accept me, but if Nex will, then blah blah blah," and they're like, like putting their hands across their chest and bowing, and he's putting his hands on people's heads and he's blessing them, and he's saying, just basically, "Bless you, now go out into the world and spread the word of Nex," and steps down from his podium, and he turns to Giles and he sort of gives him an appraising look.
I don't like this.
Yeah, yes, he's just sleeping. He's not dead.
He's fine. He's fine. Leave him alone.
He slowly walks up to him and places his palms on his head, and he bends down and whispers something into Giles's ear.
Bleeding
anyone do anything? Anyone stop him?
Well, he's got his hand on him, and it's kind of too late, isn't it?
Well, if he's kind of reaching his hand out, you have plenty of. He's just walking over, so there's plenty of time to intercept him.
I'll literally just grab him by the wrist of the hand that's going to touch his head and just go, "Leave him be."
He looks at you, and you get a really bad vibe that he's giving you a scathing look, and you feel as sort of your skin touches his, you feel almost like sickened a bit.
Remember,
and
guys.
He says, Take your hand off me.
So leave our friend be. He's fine. He just needs a sleep.
He is one of my order. I will wake him.
I'll walk over, I'll pull my axe out and hold it to his neck and say, "Leave him be. He's one of us."
You think that axe can cut me? You think that you can hurt me in this mortal shell?
Oh, he's
I'm more than
for
happy to find out.
He looks at you and he says, I will not harm this boy.
So you
But you're 55 years
better
old.
not, else you're going to drop the floor.
Do you take your hand off him?
Yes.
Yeah. So he bends down, puts his hand on Lee's forehead and begins to whisper in his ear, and it's a language that you don't understand. Lee, give me a knowledge religion check, please, because you start having very vivid dreams.
Oh, it's one of these, is it? Knowledge religion. God, what is my religion?
D20 plus your religion check, which is...
2.
Let's have a quick look.
What?
It's +2, yeah, so D20 +2, please, to interpret these visions.
Here we go again. Oh, God. Here we don't go again. 6.
You're back in your shallow grave and you hear something in a strange language getting louder and louder and louder until it's painful. And you try to move and you can't, and you look down and you notice that your flesh has melted away and that you're just a skeleton. You find yourself rising nonetheless, and you notice that you're detached from your skeletal form, and then all of a sudden your eyes jolt open and you're awake, and your non-lethal damage is gone, and you are healed by 6.
Nice. I'm intrigued. Do we know what level cleric this is?
You don't, but you can... to be fair, you're not going to be able to have a gander what level cleric he is. Because you don't know what he's rolled, if that makes sense. You'd know if he rolled the maximum, but...
Yeah.
Oh, he might have rolled the maximum, you don't know, but he's healed you by 6.
Excellent.
If I just go, what was that? Can you do that, Giles?
Can I heal people?
It's like waking them up, wasn't it, from the dead, pretty much?
I mean,
unconscious, I suppose.
I was unconscious, yeah. I mean, that's kind of... That can heal you, yeah. I've done it too many a times.
He says, what's your name, boy?
Giles.
And where do you hail from?
I've had too much to drink and can't remember. I know I wrote this down somewhere, but I can't remember where I put. Where the hell am I from? Somewhere nice.
You're from Helt.
There you go, from Helt. Why did I write that down? I've got this written down somewhere, just not on this sheet of paper that I'm looking at right now.
Yeah. He nods and he says, who was your teacher?
I
don't think you wrote down a name for your teacher, the person who taught you. Do you want me to just give him a name?
Yeah, just give him a name. I actually want to know where the sheet is.
Your teacher's name was Niles.
Niles.
Mm.
Niles taught Giles.
Niles taught Giles, yeah. Niles did indeed teach Giles.
Oh, this is the best.
Do you tell him?
Do I tell him what? That Niles teach Giles?
Yeah.
I do tell him, yeah.
Yeah. He nods and he says, I am Magnus.
Hello,
I
Magnus.
am a priest of Nex from the south. There aren't many of our order up in the north anymore. You may be one of the last priests of Nex. In this region, anyway.
Ah. Best look after myself a bit better then, haven't I?
He nods.
Do
He
you
says,
have...
"What news of Nex in the north?"
What news of Nex was that?
He nods. He says, "Have you been cultivating cairns? Are there more of our order? What news?"
There is no others that I'm aware of. However, Nex is having a collection of new people joining him in the other world. I'm making sure he's getting plenty of that.
He nods approvingly. And he says, "Please, sit by the fire, rest, stay here the night.
Sure.
Recover your weary selves."
Plant myself into this campment right here, next to this tent.
Okay, he sits down too. And he beckons for the others to come and sit.
Come on, guys. We won't touch you too much.
I'll come and sit, but I'll sit the opposite side of this fire to him, just giving him filthy looks.
I'm gonna sit near. I'm gonna sit up, kind of up on top of the podium a little bit, away from everyone else as well.
He says, how may I help you, student of Niles?"
Do you know where I could get some potions of cure light wounds?
He shakes his head, but he puts a hand out and he says, "Join my hand and I shall heal you of any ailments."
See, I could do with the healing, but I don't trust this fucker.
Do I need it? Let me just check what my top amount of health is, because I can't remember what my health can go up to. HP is
HP goes up to 13 for you.
Yeah, so I'm actually already on 13, I believe. Yes, I am.
Yeah.
So I'm okay. However, would you be able to help Ulf? He's a bit wary of our type. Unfortunately, got me to thank for that. But he could certainly use your hand, and he has kept me alive throughout the last couple of weeks. I don't know how many days I've been doing this for, but hey ho.
I'll just lean across to Angelus and go, "If he kills me, promise me you'll slice his throat."
As long as you make the same promise back for me, man, when he tries to heal me.
That's it. 100%. I'll just put my arm out like that.
Okay, cool. So he places just a single finger on you. And heal by... you heal by 13.
This guy's definitely a high level.
13.
Can I learn anything from other priests? So is there like a knowledge check or something that we can do to like learn new spells?
What do you want to learn from him?
Like, is there any spells that he could teach me?
So you get your spells from the divine. So you pray for your spells and you receive them. It's not something you can pass priest by priest. That's something that wizards can do, though. So wizards meet other wizards. They can share spells from their spell book, but you're not that type of class. I mean, you have a lot of favor with him, so he'll be as helpful to you or you think he'll be as helpful to you as he possibly can. So just ask away. But there's nothing he can do for your character sheet, unless he's got items to give you if you ask for them. Dave, are you getting healed by him?
Yeah, why not?
Lead in touch.
He heals you by 7.
7, nice, okay. So I'm up to 18 health.
Mm.
What
he
have
says,
you
"Now
across?
I must rest.
Okay.
I cannot provide any more healing, at least for today." And he crosses his legs and he says, "But how can I help in other ways?"
Tell me, what have you seen in this area on your travels?
He nods. He says, I have come from the south. The place I have come from is a place called Jaeger, home of one of the leading Hersers, a man named Ragulf. Ragulf Karlson. He is the man who may take the throne in a few days. He's the brother of the previous Jarl.
Is that the one we saw in the tent? With the 3 pretty brutal guys with him? Is that other camp?
Let's have a quick look at my notes.
He had that Valley Ice Vein, was it Darius and Einar?
Yeah, so from what you remember, Einar was sworn to the guy Ragulf. So yeah, you remember seeing Ragulf. So Ragulf is a chieftain who was dressed incredibly richly. But yeah, you remember that his vassals, Einar the Troll, the guy who was painted all green and mossy, the guy who supposedly people have ripped him in half and he's healed back like a troll. So yeah, he's one of the more important chieftains.
So
sorry.
I was just going to say, does anyone else around the camp look like they might have anything about them?
A lot of people are poor peasants. There's a couple of guards, but there doesn't this doesn't seem to be like a royal or rich encampment. There's 2 caravans, but they're very sparse. It looks like this is this guy's own personal entourage, if that makes sense. I mean, you could roll me a perception to find out a bit more, but everyone else just seems kind of normal. There's the ranger there with the bow, but there's just 2 sort of caravan guards.
Okay. So he's here with Ragulf.
You ask him that.
Yeah.
He nods. He says, I have come with his party, but I fear I have fallen out of favour. He used to be a stout worshipper of Nex, but he seems to have turned to another god of late.
Any reason for turning away from Nex?
He shakes his head and then sort of frowns, cocks his head to the side. They call Ragulf the Widow because he has not had much luck in love or life. Many of his wives have died giving birth to a child. He's currently without heir, which may be the reason why he would not be selected as the next Jarl. But since the passing of his last wife, he changed. Whilst he was a devout follower of Nex, he has withdrawn. He worships dark symbols that I do not know of. I am unfamiliar with the god, and I know many gods. Ragulf has turned to ways I do not know. He has brought me here as a token, I believe, because he owes our god very much, but he does not follow the ways. As you can see, he has not blessed my camp with wealth and riches, and I have been banished from his main city.
Nice. Do you know who this god is that he practices now?
He shakes his head.
So he has a god called Einar.
He nods.
From what people say, he has some strange abilities of regeneration. Is there any truth in these? Or is it just myth?
He nods. He says Einar is a powerful warrior, and there's more to Einar that meets the eye. His source of power is not of nature; it is of magic, of the arcane.
Would this be from Nex or from this new god?
He shakes his head. He says, Nex does not know him.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else that someone wants to ask? I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I feel like I'm going to regret this later on, but...
Are there any merchants nearby?
Merchants?
Yeah.
He shakes his head. None in this camp.
Cool.
Any food to spare?
He nods.
Oh, I have a question. I rummage in my bag. I pull out my green vial. And I go, and I go, do you know what this is? Please be something cool.
Right. So he waves his hand over it, and he begins to chant, and the words to you, Lee, are almost very familiar, but also alien at the same time. And you hear the words next, you hear a standard prayer, but you hear a little bit more into it, and his hands begin to glow, and you notice that the green vial begins to glow too. He says, "This is powerful magic." He says, "This type of magic will summon something from the other realms." What it does, I believe it's a helpful influence, but I'm unsure what would be summoned or created. There is no substance to this creature. It may be ethereal, ghostly, but it's not malevolent.
Nice.
And that's all he says.
We'll need that at some point, Dave.
Yeah. So green vial, ghost.
Or viper.
Helpful. I'm going to call it Casper.
I'll laugh if it's another viper, especially if it turns against you.
I hate that. That's cool. I like the sound of that.
He says this vial, it's marked by, he cocks his head, humorous magic. The person who created it was an incredibly powerful prankster. Someone who wanted to create something helpful but excessive.
Right.
Oh, what could this be? The other one turns you into like a fog.
Oh my god, I'm thinking ghosts and stuff. It's gonna be Slimer, isn't it?
Something like that. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Can I take out one of these other 2 books and learn that?
Yeah, sure. Which ones are you looking through?
I'll do the mice and monsters.
Yeah, cool. So you begin to read, and next day you'll get some bonuses for recognizing things.
Nice.
Let's have a quick look what you get a bonus recognizing. I have to turn far back because some of these are my work notes as well.
Trying to think, is there anything that you can ask him, Giles?
Well, he can't teach me anything really.
Is there some way you can ask him? Is there somewhere you can go to learn things? Like some temple or something, or a...
What are you thinking? The ring?
Like stones and stuff.
Yeah, I thought about that. I just don't want him to take them off me.
He seems a little friendlier than you. I'm not gonna lie. He seems very helpful.
Yeah. Maybe
he seems a little friendlier. He does, yeah. He seems that way.
Oh, actually, okay. I have one. I will ask him though. I want to ask him about this small pouch I've got of these small white things and one black stone. If he knows anything about that.
He says, sometimes
Oh,
It's
dear.
not worth it to cast pearls before swine, but some of us seem the value in them.
Cryptic.
I mean, they're pearls.
Okay, I'm gonna take out these rings that I've got. Well, it's more of a what is it? I can't remember if it's a hand, and I'll put the hand back, don't I?
How much is a pearl worth? Does that change?
That changes depending on the pearl. You need someone who would appraise.
I'm gonna take out these onyx rings that I have and ask him if he knows anything about them, what he can tell me about them.
Yeah, so most of them are smashed, aren't they? So most of them are just silver rings now. I think, how many of them are left onyx-wise? I think, was it 2 or 3 of them are left with the onyx stone on?
One hand with
I've
onyx
just got 2
rings,
plain rings
the other
left.
jewels. We were looking after due to the last thing I got rid of down was 8 onyx rings, but I don't know what happened to them.
Yeah, most of the onyx is smashed. I've made notes on it.
Right.
Because if you killed all those skeletons and they were linked.
So we'll change that down to 2. So I'll take the 2 out that I've got. What about the silver ring with a large onyx stone like a Pokemon? That is exactly what I've got written down. I don't know what that means.
It's because onyx is a Pokemon, and you were remembering which it was. Okay. Right, I found my notes from those sessions. So that ring is still intact, and you've got 2 others from the 9 rings you collected that are still intact. So you've got 3 onyxes. So one of them is large, like the original one. The other 2 are small. The rest of them are now just silver rings because it's sort of smashed like glass.
Right.
So you've only got 2. You've got 2 small onyx rings, 1 large onyx ring, and he looks at them, and he says, "My."
Oh, do tell.
You've been plundering.
Anyone else starting to think this is a bad idea?
Always.
Well, we didn't really plunder. They came after us, and they were what was left after we defeated them.
He nods.
We didn't steal them. We acquired them.
Yeah, we took them after.
Spoils of a fight.
Yeah.
He asks you to show proof of your magic. He says, if you have not done anything wrong, then Nex will still grant you the ability to do things. He says, show me proof of your power so I know not that you're a heretic.
Okay. Let me decide on something that I can do. I've got 1 spell left. I'm going to use that. No, I'll use a level 0. I'm just going to create some water in front of him to drink.
Okay. He nods. That excuse is satisfactory. So I assume you do not have a walker following you.
A what now?
A walker, a creature that will walk in the final days. They are buried in such crypts. They are immensely powerful. If you disturb the crypts and take a relic from them, then they will follow you. They are meant to sleep until the end.
I think
Wasn't that
Is that what we
Santa?
defeated?
No, because we sent that bloke back on the boat. He gave him back, and that's when they said the hand started coming out, and then he decided to go back in again.
Oh, he took the ring back.
Yeah, he took something back, didn't he?
Yeah, the hand covered with jewels and gems. Yeah.
No,
You had a vision in a previous session, Lee, about a hand being receded after something was going to come after you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're safe from that then.
Yeah. There's nothing after us.
He nods. Well, these are valuable artifacts then. He says, has Nex not shown you how to use them?
No.
She will in time. You need to have a bit more life experience before you can put such things to use.
Okay.
Did your master not show you how to bring forth servants of Nex?
My master died, didn't he? Bring forth servants. I'm guessing what you're on about there is to servants. You mean like command undead or summon monster, summon minor monsters?
He shakes his head and laughs, and he says, "Such parlor tricks for a young disciple such as yourself." He says, "When you get stronger, you will be able to bring forth magnificent things." And he reaches into the fire and he takes out some scraggling like pieces of like a hare or a chicken or whatever sort of animal, and he blows on it, and slowly the bones reassemble, and it animates into like a sort of a half sort of skeleton type rabbit thing that's wriggling, and he casts it back into the fire and it goes puff. He says, "Soon you will be able to meld and shape on life as you see fit. And these are but tools, sources of power for you to do this."
Nice.
Okay. I'm looking for that. Is there any way I can go learn this?
He says, "It will come with time. You are young still."
Okay. Thank you for that. I put the things back away, making a note not to get rid of them. And I'm thinking about turning in for the night. Because it is quite dark, isn't it? It's quite late.
Yeah. Before you do, he asks you many questions over the course of the next hour or so. He asks you lots of questions about the crypt, about the writing that was in it, the dreams you've had. He asks you about the last 6 months worth of dreams and visions and things, and tries to interpret them. He tells you very little from now on, but asks you lots and lots of different things about your experiences and what the North is like. He asks about Sved. He asks about, have you met any other chieftains? What are the sizes of people's armies? How many men have been sent away? He asks a lot of questions. How compliant are you with answering all of them?
There's a lot of questions. Just wondering if it's worth doing a... Oh, what's it called? Wow. Sense motive?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Sure.
Cool.
D20 plus sense motive, please.
22.
Nice.
Give me a second. I'm just finding this guy's skills. Yeah, so you don't sense anything. You sense he's just really curious. And he says to you, when you sort of give him an inquiring question, he says, it's my interest to know the political sphere of the North. We disciples of Nex, we tend to keep others appraised. If you have any questions about the state of the South, size of armies, garrisons, finances, I'm more than welcome to share.
Can I just say I love that voice, Paris? I feel like I could go to sleep quite... Like, if he was to read me a story in that voice, I would fall asleep quite happily. I tell him whatever he wants to know.
Yeah, cool. He just tells you he just asks you loads and loads of questions. Short of, what you last ate and what you had for breakfast. He wants to know names of people in the encampment. He wants to know what patrols you've seen as well. He's now asking about Thrin and all those things. He just seems really curious into things that you don't even think are consequential pieces of information. He asks about, and then after the hour, he's done.
Nice. Are we okay to leave it there for the night? Just let's say it's about 10:20. Just thinking we've got work tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Do you guys sleep here?
Yeah, I'm happy to sleep here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. So we leave it off here. You guys go to sleep, and you stay in the encampment of Magnus, the priest of Nex.
Nice.
Right. Thank you very much. I will
you.
see you next week.